folks, and I hope you're all keeping well, and hope you've all enjoyed the holiday season. And if you've got some nice presents as well, maybe you've got a new JDXI and you're enjoying some of my tutorials. So if you are, great, and I really appreciate if you do watch my stuff. Maybe you like to subscribe to my channel as well. That'd be much appreciated. So what I'm going to do, it's the last day of the year. I'm going to show you how I did my recent version of Cars by the great Gary Numan. And this one is slightly different to the one I put up a few years ago. The patterns are slightly different, or substantially different I should say. Just shows how much I've learned, I suppose, over the years. So without further ado, let's get cracking, and we'll show you the patterns. So I'm going to show you the patterns I've just played for you. So first of all, we've got this this pattern here. Give some sound. So that's the first one I'm going to show you. So the basics are the tempo is 128 beats per minute, and we're using a 16-note measure for each pattern. Some are 4 measures, some are 2, but we'll go through that as we get to them. So let's have a look at the drums to start with. So this is the drum pattern. So what I'm going to do, like I normally do, is just erase everything from there. So we erase the drum pattern to start with. Let's erase everything. So let's just take it all out. So we've just got nothing in there at all. Nice blank pattern. Okay, so the drums. The drum kit I'm using is the EDM Kit1, and this is for the first pattern. So we've got a bass drum on positions 1, 3, 9, 12 and 15. We've got a closed hi-hat on 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and 13. We've got the partial hi-hat on 15. We've got the open hi-hat on 5 and 13. And then we've got a snare drum 4 on 5 and 13 also. So remember, we've still got 1 measure in there. We're going to do the other voices as well, and then we're going to duplicate it. So let's have a look at the analog sound. The analog sound I'm using is called Cello Clip 1. Okay, and these are the notes. Let's turn it up a little bit. So again, I'll put this in the description, but it's D, C sharp, G, A. Now, if you're finding the whole thing a little bit too quick for you, remember you've got a tempo control here, so no matter what speed you record it at, it will play it back at the tempo that you want it to. So let's wind it down to 100 beats per minute, and let's record it. So that's the first measure, that's the analog sound. Let's do the bass sound. So the bass I'm using is called picked bass, and just drop it down an octave. Exactly the same notes, but this one has a at the end. Have a listen. So when you practiced it a couple of times, you can record it. So it should be appearing on 1, 3, 5, 7, 11 and 13. And the last sound in this first pattern is the super saw, and exactly the same notes. Ready? That's it. We can now duplicate that and make it into a 4-bar pattern, 4-measure pattern I should say. So press the menu button, pattern length, use that, find it with the cursor buttons here, and then press the enter button, use the value buttons here to take it up to 4, press enter with copying, enter, and now it's a 4-measure pattern. The only thing you're going to do differently, if you hold the shift button down, you can see all 4 measures there, remember. Press number 4 to get into the 4th measure. We're just going to put an extra note in at the end there. So the bass is going to have a G note on there. So you can barely hear it, but you can also put it in with a cello clip as well. So let's put it in with a cello clip. So if you hit it, it hits on 15. You could do it with a step recorder if you wanted to as well, but you can play that in real time, I think. And you can also do it with the cello clip 1 if you wanted to, but I don't think I did. I'm just checking my notes. Did I do it? Yes, I did. So with the analog synth, you can also put it in with that as well. So hit record. So it just fills it out that little bit. So that's it. That's the first pattern done. Remember to save it. Shift, menu, and then save it. But we're going to use the drum pattern. We're going to reuse that on the next one. So let's we've saved it. Save it again to the next memory slot. I'm not going to overwrite what I've done because I don't want to overwrite my work. But press save, go to the next free memory slot, and then we'll save it to that as well. And then we're going to modify it. So the first thing to do to modify it is to take it back to 2 measures. So press the menu button. We're in pattern length, press enter, take it down to 2, press enter, and we're going to delete the analog, the bass, and the super saw. So just press the shift on, press analog synth, press shift and erase, and then press enter. We're just going to delete that one sound, and then we're going to delete the digital synth 2. And we're going to delete digital synth 1 as well. So we should just be left with a drum pattern. Oh, before you saved it, you should take it back to 128 beats per minute. You don't want it sounding slow, do you? So it wants to be there. So if you have saved it at 100 beats per minute, just go back and resave it at 128. Then you can slow it down again. I'm sure it will make sense in the end. So let's now put in these sounds here. So we'll do the bass first. So the bass is going to be playing G, B, F sharp, like that. So that's what it will look like. In the first measure, you've got that extra note again coming in on 15. Sounds like a nursery rhyme, doesn't it? Sorry, it's me being a bit silly there, do beg your pardon. Right, let's do the analog synth, exactly the same note. So exactly the same. that, and let's do the super saw. Last thing we've got to do is put a hand clap in. So the hand clap on the drums goes in on 13 in the first measure and 13 in the second measure. Have a listen. And remember to take it back up to 128 and listen to it at the correct speed. So that's the first two patterns. Let's have a look at the next one. So the drums are similar, but we can't really reuse them again. So this one you don't really, you can copy it across, but you're going to delete the sounds on it anyway, because you're going to put them in. So what I would do, I would save what you've just done and then copy that across to the next free memory slot, and then we're going to modify this sound to make this new pattern. So first of all, let's delete everything that's there. So press Shift, Erase, and select all, and completed. Have a nice blank memory slot again. So going back to my notes, so the bass drum pattern goes in on positions 1, 3, 9, 12 and 15 again. We've got the clap this time straight away going in on 13. Got the closed hi-hat going in on 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. We've got the partial hi-hat doing something slightly different here. It's going in on 1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 10, 13 and 14. Have a listen. And then the open hi-hat, that's going in on 5 and 13. Snare drum is going to go in, snare drum 4 again, that's going to go in on 5 and 13. Have a listen. So once you've done that, that's the time we want to copy that. So we're going to basically make that into a 4-measure pattern. So press Menu, Pattern Length, Enter, Measure 4, Enter, Copying, Yes. So we've got a 4-measure pattern. Now what we're going to do, we're going to modify measure number 4. The snare drum, we have extra snare drum on positions 11 and 12, and we have cymbal 1, that nice crash cymbal, going in on 13. Have a listen. Just gives it that little bit more interest to the sound. My page keeps turning over here, do beg your pardon. Right, let's go back into the bass sound. So let's have, sorry, we'll do the super saw sound, I think, to start with. Now this is where it does probably pay you to slow it down, because you're going to be playing this. If I can play it right. So to play that at the correct speed might be difficult. Slow it down. Slow it down to 100 and have a go. Just practice it to start with. Here we go. See, even I make mistakes. So if you make mistakes, don't worry. Just keep practicing it. So it's going from D up to, it's D, D, A, B, C, B, then repeat it. Then it goes up to this F, F, E, and so it finishes with that A, B, A, B, D. Try it again. So let's try it again in recording it this time. Let it play through once and then come in when you hear the drum. So if it sounds a bit slurred, just try it again. Just press Shift and erase and just try it once more. Always remember to let it play through once and then come in on the second go. Not too bad. Let's do the bass the same way. So it's exactly the same. So that's what it should sound like. One last thing to do is the analog synth. Now what we're going to do with that, we're going to do something a little bit flash on this. We're going to play about with the filter. So when it's playing through, we're going to turn the filter while it's recording, and it's going to record that for you. So it's going to sound something like this. So start with the cutoff filter round about the between 10 and 11 o'clock position up here, and while it's playing, turn it slowly as it's going through to about the 1 to 2 o'clock position, and then bring it back before the sequence ends back to the 11 o'clock position again. Hope that makes sense. Let's just show you what I mean. We'll record it and show you what I mean. Again, let it play through once and then we'll do it on the second go. So it should sound like this. So that's that. Back up to 128 again. Have a listen to it at 128. Now save that as it is there now, and then save it again into the next free memory slot, because we're just going to modify the ending of that slightly, because the ending instead of sounding the same, it just plays a little bit differently. I'll just play the ending as it is. Let's go back to the presets here. So at the end go da 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 da. So that last measure goes D, G, A, D. So let's just do that last measure. In effect, it's there. All you've got to do is delete the notes that's in that last measure there. So let's just go to there. This is what you've just done. So we don't want it to do that. We want to change that to do that. So what we'll do, we'll just press the shift button. Sorry, press the erase button this time. We're just going to erase those last few notes. And we'll do the same for the bass as well while we're in measure 4. Oops, sorry. Press the erase button down, press the notes. So leave the first one, you can leave that one, it doesn't matter about that first one. Don't touch the analog synth, don't erase that, because that still plays through. Mine was recorded down here. So let's do that. There we go. So there's the notes that I've just recorded in. Let's do the cello clip as well. So remember, that note's already there. You're just going to put in and I moved it up. So let's just redo that. We'll have to do all 4 notes again. I know I did this when I was practicing it as well. So we're going to put in all 4 notes. Now, it's slightly wrong there, so I can see it's wrong because it's hitting the wrong note. So just erase those notes again. Slow it down. Practice what you preach, David. Last note, you can hold it on a little bit longer. Back up to 128. Have a listen. Good. So the last thing to show you is that lead line that you play over the top of it. Now I'm using my separate keyboard to do it because of the inherent problem that the JDXI has. When it switches between programs, if you're holding a note down, playing in manually, the note cuts out, which is really annoying. I'll just show you what I mean. Switching to the next pattern. That didn't demonstrate it very well, did it? Because that's the trick. You can, if you stop playing it just before that pattern ends, you can then play it in. I'll show you what I mean. This is the fault. So switching to the next pattern. See how it cuts out. Now, if you're clever and or quick, you can actually just lift your finger off and press it down again when that next pattern starts. So you're playing A, G, D, B, G, and shift it up an octave. Now you can do that, but it's difficult to do. So if you've got a second keyboard, it's probably a lot easier to do it with a second keyboard with a similar sort of sound, and it will sound like this. Which sounds more like it should do. The notes don't cut out. So I hope you enjoyed that. There is a little bit more in the multi-track recording because there's some more hand claps that go in there. Obviously there's a singing part as well, but you've got the basics there for the track. Have a go, see how you get on, and let me know what you think. Anyway, I wish you all the best and wish you a happy new year. This has gone on a little bit longer than I'd hoped it would do, but it's good to get one out there to you. So you take care. I wish you all the best for 2024, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.